retired metalhead weatherman here. Hopefully, you guys are doing good. Well, I have been still trying to figure out just what the heck is going on with this storm system that's going to be heading in this weekend now. This has trended further and further away from being a Thanksgiving Day type storm. It's really going to be more towards Black Friday and really the weekend. So, I mean, there is still some stuff that will be going on in Thanksgiving, on maybe Thanksgiving Day. But for the most part, I'm looking more towards Friday and beyond for any sort of significant weather, which even at that point there really doesn't seem to be much of. It mainly looks more like a rain shield. Nonetheless, though, there is a marginal risk on Thanksgiving Day, and this is going to be towards the Gulf Coast around Texas, towards Houston, maybe just to the east of San Antonio. We have a marginal threat for severe weather. Still a lot of uncertainty though around the extent of the moisture returns and instability over this area. So there's still a lot of doubts on whether this even populates into any sort of severe threat. But at this point, we can't rule out a severe thunderstorm or two being possible. So here we are looking at the vorticity once more. And if we drop back on this a bit, you can see now we're looking more or less towards I would say the late hours of, we're looking back towards Saturday. We were going to jump back towards Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening. And we do have a little bit of energy popping off there, but it's not going to be much. I think there's a more significant threat leaning into Saturday around this region. Even then, there's not a huge warm sector around here. We're going to try to move this back one more time and look a little further out ahead. See if maybe there's an area of interest a little further off to the east. But to be truthful, I just don't see it. Nothing on the heliograph or the skewed T charts as far as instability or any sort of rotation to be concerned with. So that just goes to show you how little I'm honestly concerned with as far as severe weather is concerned. There is potential, I think, towards Saturday, and I've just moved this up too far. I think there is potential towards maybe Saturday for extensive rain event and maybe a couple of pulse severe storms. Mainly, I'm thinking more like moderate risk will be possible throughout the weekend, but or marginal risk, not moderate. Jeez, I think that would be overkill, honestly. See, like I said, the dew point, the temperatures, the instability just isn't really there. So that being said, we'll just kind of continue to move this along. And really, the snow threat is also kind of dwindled with this. I just don't think the parameters are in place for a big event of any kind to develop here. The track of the low is not feasible. The cold air that's coming in is not going to make it in time with the amount of moisture available to really do much of anything. So the next storm we'll have to be watching is more towards the very, very end of this month, which right now, honestly, that isn't looking too impressive either. We'll just kind of have to see how it plays out, but you see a nice little dip in the jet stream here at one point, but this piece of energy isn't super duper strong at this point. And then by the time it does really start to look like anything, I think this is just going to be a big snow event for the Great Lakes at this time. But beyond that, I'm not too concerned with it, to be honest. We'll go ahead and run towards the GFS and make a little comparison here. GFS has a very similar look at this point. There's a lot of model. There's starting to become more and more model agreement to this being less of a significant storm. Things could still change. I'm not taking it for granted, that's for sure. But yeah, it's pretty much the same setup here. This is towards the evening of the 25th on Black Friday. And you can see a little bit of a moisture return here. We may have to watch around Louisiana and the Gulf Coast states for a slight chance of a severe storm or two. But really, I just don't think the instability is going to be there. The temperatures aren't really warm. Dew points aren't going to be super rich. This really seems like a dry system, in my honest opinion. and we just move this along and watch it go off to the northeast. The track of that system, the cold air really is a little bit too far behind, I think, to really mean much of anything. And then, of course, this is our little system on the 29th that we'll be watching from that point on and seeing where it goes from there. This is the 18Z GFS, by the way. We were looking at the 12Z Euro. Got home a little too late to compare them both together. So that's pretty much what we have going on there. And then right around the first week of December here, we might have to watch the northeast for maybe another cold blast, and we'll just go from that point. But we're gonna backtrack here, and then we're gonna go ahead and look at what the precip could look like on here. And I'm really not expecting anything super spectacular at this time. I expect a big rain shield mostly. A few areas further back towards the north and east may get some snow, but it's not going to be impressive snowfall totals. We've actually dropped off quite a bit from what we were expecting on yesterday's video. Link to that will be in the top right hand corner, by the way. So move this along. Like I said, pretty good rain shield here. I'm mainly expecting a heavy rain event. Could be some severe storms far to the south over here, but like I said, conditions don't seem to be really favorable for that. Over towards the panhandle of Texas, though, there's going to be a little area where we could be anticipating some moderate to decent snowfall, about 1 to 2 inches around the Texas panhandle. Very early for this time of year, very rare, but that's one cool thing about what's going on here. Doesn't look like anything is going to be too crazy as long as people handle it properly. But upper level low really is just not at a good track for the northeast to be getting a lot of snow. I think the cold air is going to come in behind it way too late, as we can see here by these little blue iso bars. These are temperatures that are below freezing. So at this point, really, no one looks like they're going to be getting much snow except over towards Texas. Who would have thought, right? And then that's that for the GFS. And then we look at the Euro, and as of right now, it's really just the same thing. We'll let this load up, and then of course it's pretty much the same story. So this isn't going to be a dangerous type of event, I would say. If anything, it's going to be more of a nuisance to people. It's just going to be, if you were planning to do anything outside, it's going to be a damp, cold, maybe cold rain event, which I'm sure a lot of people are not fans of. I'm certainly not either. Like I said, there's no real modes on here that even indicate the potential for a severe storm. All these storms look unimpressive to me. And then this just becomes a big shield of rain for the southeast throughout the weekend. We'll just kind of go through things from that point onward. Do see this little piece of energy that kind of lingers around the Gulf and then works its way to the south and east, leading to a rainy weekend for them. But beyond that, it's not really much of anything to talk about. But it's a short video. I know it's a little weird for me, but that's pretty much all I got here. So around these areas up north that we're showing about 2 inches of snow, a lot of you guys are turning towards rain now. So unfortunately, if you were looking for a white Thanksgiving, as it stands right now, I might be closing the book on that. So apologies there if you were looking for that. It just wasn't meant to be this time. We'll see what happens on the next one. But enough rambling from me. If you liked this video, definitely drop me a like. Greatly appreciate it. Helps me get out there to more people that might want to see this video. Definitely let me know in the comments what your thoughts are about this Thanksgiving. Do you mind if it's a wet one? Do you mind if it's uneventful? Or do you want exciting weather, or crazy weather? Just let me know, I guess. But other than that, this has been Metalhead Weatherman. I'll see you guys in the next video. You guys have a good one.